Hey everybody, welcome back to APM Help Academy. Today we're going to be talking about communicating with your tenants and your owners. So one of the first places I kind of want to touch on real quick is cutting off messaging tenants. And the reason why I want to start off there is because there seems to be a lot of questions sometimes on how certain tenants, whether they're active or they're no longer with you, there's situations where they're still getting communication and you don't want them to anymore. There isn't really one whole way to actually do that unless you move out the tenant and it's been 30 days past the end date of their lease, or you just remove their email address from their profile altogether. I don't recommend the latter only because that record is now gone if you remove their email entirely, unless you put it in the notes of their profile or something like that. But that's kind of a last resort option. But there are some common areas that you can go to maybe edit the type of messaging they're getting or cut it off entirely. So one of the first places I want to go to is settings and application settings. And that will bring us right here. All right. I'm going to go into where it says residents. And right here, this is a very common thing that a lot of tenants will get: reminders and statements. Now, this is something where if I have this turned on, every single time a recurring charge, an automated charge, in other words, post to a tenant's ledger, they're going to get an email. And it's going to say, hey, here's your charges, here's your statement, and so forth. So if you don't want them to receive this at all, this needs to be off, okay? And remember, this is on a global level, though. This is something that can be edited in tenants' ledgers as well, customly. So I can show you what that looks like real quick. If I go to just any tenant's lease, the financials, not recurring transactions, we need to go to payment settings, payment reminders. Okay, I can override it here. So even though I might have it turned off over here, you might have it turned on over here. Okay, and again, that's under the payment settings tab. All right, I can turn this on for just this one tenant if I wanted to and turn it off for everybody else. So it is in a couple of different areas, keep in mind. It also can be done on the property level too, just under a property summary page. All right. Another piece of communication that is very common that I could go through with you guys. So go to application settings. Late fees is a big one. Okay. Because in this case, there are situations where a lot of people don't want tenants necessarily to get an email every time they get a late fee charge. So that's going to be under here. So I'm under the global setting, of course, for late fees. Again, this is something that can be overridden under the property level or a specific lease. Now under here where it says, would you like to notify residents about your late fee policy? You can have it turned on where it emails your residents once late fees are posted to their ledger. So if this is turned on, they're going to get an email every single time a late fee posts. All right. Another very common area. Okay. So there are a lot of different automated ways to communicate with people. And you kind of have to understand the areas where you can turn this on or off. All right. Like I said, there isn't just one whole way to cut off communication entirely unless you move out someone or you just remove their email from their profile. But if you did the latter, they don't have access to the resident portal anymore, and you potentially lose that record. So if you're wondering, well, how can I see all the different things they might automatically be emailed about? There is an area where you can check that out. So if I go to communication here and go to automated email settings, this is where I can find all the types of automated emails someone could possibly get. So you could go to your tenants, and these are all the things that they can potentially be automatically emailed about. And you can see there's a lot of different things. Some of these things can be edited while others cannot. It will tell you if you can. But for instance, one of the things that tenants can't, what they can't have edited for an email, one of the things is like a payment confirmation. So if, like for instance, like right here, you can see right here, it says this email cannot be customized, right? This is like if they had a payment processed by Buildium's EFT or credit card option, you cannot edit this message, all right? Same thing if their payment's rejected, this cannot be edited. You know, those are just some examples, but if you're curious as to all the things they could potentially be automatically emailed about, this is all of them. All right. Same thing with owners too. It has everything they could possibly be automatically emailed about. It's a good little place to just double check those type of things. So, okay. Other ways that you can communicate too with your residents and owners is if we just go to communication here, emails is self-explanatory, so I won't go through that. That's just, again, if you want to email someone through Buildium. But text messaging, you can also do it through here. Now, the benefit of just the Buildium text messaging is you can do it all within your software that you work in all the time. Not to mention, it does come from a generated number that isn't necessarily tied to anyone specifically. It's just tied to your Buildium account, right? So yeah, and that's if you don't want to share your number with residents too and everything, right? Buildium's just going to generate its own type of phone number. Okay, so you can, and this is a kind of a self-explanatory page as well. So new text messages, add recipients, and then if they text you, it would all be here. This is very accessible in the app. I will say, I feel like most people use it through the Buildium app on their phone rather than this page. Even though you can do it from here, it makes sense to use it from your phone, right? Because we're texting people from our phone. So using the app, I would probably recommend more so than from here, even though you can do it from here as well. The other place I think would be good to look at here too is the fact that our task can be used as communications too. Now, I touched on this in another video a little bit, but if you do ever update a task, you can always, here, I'll just put the testing in here. That's not a good one though. Let me go back here. Let's go ahead and do it for rent owner request would be a good one, I think. That way I can show you guys what pops up. You can see as soon as I start typing, the option to share pops up, right? So you won't see the option to share with a resident or an owner unless you start typing in a message. Then it pops up that I can share an update with my owner, with my resident, and it will automatically email them that update. So you can always communicate with your tenants owners directly through here too. Okay. Another area too that you can use, this is just for the portal. I'll touch on it a little bit. Not everybody uses this, but if I click on communication here, go to announcements, this kind of pops up in the announcements tab in the Buildium account. Well, I should say in the Buildium account for the residents in their portal, okay? I can create an announcement here, and they will get notified by text message, by email, and a post to the resident center. So it communicates with them in a lot of different ways, just a simple announcement here, okay? So it's something to keep in mind there. So announcements is something maybe not everybody uses, but it is an option. It's just a general announcement that everybody really should know about. Maybe a policy has changed. Maybe there's like a giveaway you're doing. I don't know, something like that. So. All right, so that's another communication option there. I know I skipped over the mailings. It is something I touched on a little bit in other videos when it comes to sending rent owner statements in bulk in general. I don't think this is something I need to go in that much into depth because it's pretty straightforward in the fact that you're going to use this to generate things in bulk typically, or actually mail something, right? If you're not trying to just simply print it in your office or email it in bulk to people, you're going to go ahead and actually mail it or use Buildium's easy mail service. So mailings is always an option too to communicate with people. All right, so I touched a little bit on automated stuff, where you can find those automated things. Some of those things, like I said, are located in application settings, automated stuff about tasks, those are, some of the areas to look at. But another thing I want to touch on is communication history. Okay, so a lot of people might just go into the general email area to look at the history. Now, Buildium did add a lot of features in terms of how to filter this better. That was a big request, it feels like, for a while, to be able to filter a little better through emails when you're looking at them in bulk. Understandably, when there's so many emails that happen. But if you're simply just trying to break it down with a specific person, specific lease, one of the areas I think is very helpful is if you go to a tenant's profile specifically. What's helpful is everybody has a communication tab where you can look at through the entire communication history with that one person. It's all here. Anything they ever received, automatically, whether it was sent manually, it's all here. All right. There's also even things about phone calls you'll notice here. Now, that's something that needs to be logged manually. Okay, so if you had a phone call with someone, Buildium's obviously not going to know to automatically record that. You actually have to go in here and log that call that you have with that person. So that's something that Buildium gives you the option to do too. Now, a lot of people know about this, but or maybe I shouldn't say a lot of people. There's, I say a decent amount. And I can date and the time and the subject and what that call was about, a little bit of details about it. That could sometimes be very helpful for people. And I can even create a mailing or compose an email directly from their profile too. So logging a call can be, I think, really helpful for notes and history of managing a certain property and the tenants there. So that's just something I really wanted to point out there. All right. So one of the things too that I think is a good thing to go over here in communication is inviting people to the resident portal. There seems to be confusion about this sometimes. If someone has not logged into their portal, they're having trouble logging into their portal for the first time. It's really important to me to go to communication, then resident center settings, and that will bring you to this page here. Now, to me, this is the best way to go ahead and re-invite someone, see if they've already been activated in the portal. Anyone who's already logged into their portal, they would show up here. If I invited someone, they haven't logged in yet, they would show up here. And if you didn't invite them at all, they would show here. To invite someone, all you got to do is just select their name, send a welcome email. All right, and that will send them an email to go ahead and log into their portal. It's considered an automated email, even though it is kind of you sending it. It's still considered automated, quote. But all right, and of course, anyone who's blocked would show up here. So if you need to invite someone to their portal, and you're working through that with them, this is the best area to do that by far. Contact directory. This is something that would show up in tenants' portals in order to communicate with someone on staff for emergencies, someone for vendor that they could contact, something like that. This is a really good area for tenants to have access to certain people to contact, okay? And this would show up in their portal. So I do recommend setting this up for people. So if they need to get in touch with someone for whatever reason, you can give them access to that and be like, hey, there's a whole contact directory of who you can get in contact with and what for. Definitely a decent thing to set up, I think, for communication purposes. Community discussions, I feel like this isn't really used that much. It's at least for rentals, I feel like it's used more so for associations, in my opinion, for HOAs. It's again just the community discussing things with each other. It can be used for rentals, I guess, sometimes. Maybe if it's a big apartment building, right, and people, maybe are selling stuff and they're trying to get in touch with people who maybe want their stuff. Maybe there's some kind of a community event that's going on. They want to discuss it. That's kind of what it's used for, if you're wondering. Another communication tactic there. Okay. All right, guys. So the last thing I want to touch on for communication is your own staff. All right. So your own staff is going to get their automated emails too about certain things in Buildium. And the way they can edit that, so if I'm this is my own account, right, that I'm logged into. as and for APM this account it's going to show as tech admin, but this would pop up typically as somebody's name or the name of the company, say something like Jackson Blake or something like that. Okay, so if they want to edit their own communication settings, like their own automated stuff, they would just click on their name or their initials in this case, and where it says account, my settings. That's going to bring me here. And what they can do is click on their notifications, text message notifications. They can unfollow this kind of stuff for notifications. But if I expand all, this is everything that they would get emails about automatically, potentially. All right. And they can customize this however they want. Maybe there's certain things they want to turn off. Maybe there's some things they're not getting emails about that they do want to get emails about. They can turn these things on, right? Once I turn it on, you want to save those changes. But yeah, this is everything they could possibly be automatically emailed about, right, in this section here. Remember, this is all individual. So just because I edit this for me, myself, doesn't mean it's going to be the same for somebody else who's on your staff that logs in. All right, this is all individual settings. So that's something I wanted to point out too. So they can definitely do that. Let's continue. This doesn't really pertain to communication, but I thought I'd touch on it since it's here. A lot of people get confused with editing 2FA codes. Now, a lot of people will just edit this in their phone number, like under the users page. So if you go to settings and then users, everybody has a phone number there typically. That's just for record's sake. That doesn't affect two-factor authentication. It has to be done here under security if you want to edit that. All right. So you go to security and you can edit your primary method, add a backup method. This is where two-factor authentication is done. It is not done under the users page under someone's profile. So don't get confused with that. They can edit that here because it's very important to know. A lot of people change phone numbers or they're having problems with their 2FA method. They need to add a backup method just in case. This is where you would do that. So I definitely wanted to point that out. I guess you could say it does involve communication a little bit, but since we're in here, I just wanted to point that out. Very important to know. All right, guys. Well, that's a little bit about the communication stuff. There's a lot of different ways to communicate in Buildium, a lot of different automated types of communication as well. So it will take you some time to dive into it and dissect it all. But I do recommend going through it a bit because communication in this world, especially in this business, is super important. So I think that's why it's good to try to get familiar with those things in Buildium. But anyways, thanks for watching, guys. Definitely check us out at apmhelp.com. Reach out directly through the website or feel free to email us at info@apmhelp.com. And we really appreciate you watching. Thanks, guys.